Hello, let us talk about the memory allocation in Python in this video. So, before going to a further discussion on memory allocation, so we have been talking about the differences between C and Python in some of the videos before. So, everything we are comparing with C because most of the engineers have grown up from their academics learning C, and C is the basic every engineer has a basic knowledge of C. So in C we know that memory allocation is of two types, or if you see any programming language, one is static memory allocation and another is dynamic memory allocation. So static memory allocation is done in stack memory, whereas the dynamic memory allocation is done in heap memory. So this most of us are familiar in the programming languages. So if you say stack or a heap, this is all the RAM in memory, the random access memory. Nothing is stored in a hard coded memory. Everything is done is stored in a non volatile volatile memory like RAM, where the program once the program execution is done, the entire reference to these variables or whatever is stored is to be removed. Or so now coming to the Python, so first thing what we have to know here is how the memory allocation is in Python is done. So one thing is definitely for sure, we have discussed in the previous video as well. Everything is Python is treated as a object, whether it be a variable, integer variable, or whether it be a string, or whether it be a list. List is like the array which we array in C, and then the function. So everything is an object and this object is stored in memory and it is referenced by a variable. So there could be number of references that is associated with a specific object. That's what we have discussed in the previous videos. So now we know in C that the memory is allocated dynamically. So during this dynamic allocation, we use methods like malloc and freeoff to free the memory, malloc to allocate the memory. Now how is it done in Python? So just to go back to the C discussion, so we are very much familiar with malloc, freeoff, where during the program we, as a C programmer, we allocate memory using malloc, and then whatever the memory is allocated is freed up at the end of the program. So it's all in the hands of the user, and user has to take care of all these memory allocations. But in Python everything is done in the background. So why what happens in the background is basically that Python is basically written in C, which we have discussed previously. So the background, whatever the memory allocations are done, are already implemented as modules in Python in the background, and they take care of any assignment of memory. So the user of Python need not worry about any allocation and deallocation of memory. So this is one of the biggest advantage as a user of Python has. And inside a Python there is a specific module called Python memory manager, which is inside the Python virtual machine, which takes care of all these memory allocations. So that's how Python makes you to use it so easily, and just allocate an object and forget about it. So Python in the background takes care of the allocation and the deallocation of the memory. So that's how easy Python is made. But in the background it's all C, which takes care of all these operations. Along with this, there is one more module in Python called garbage collector. So this particular garbage collection module helps Python to eliminate the unused memory, um, which helps to free off the memory, and then makes the Python more efficient and memory handling more efficient. So this particular module is implemented in the Python called the garbage collection module. So now one small thing which we have to remember is that so we have been saying in C that we allocate memory and free of memory. Similarly, whatever the object that is created in Python, and once that Python, and we are already saying that, example, if I say a is equal to 3, 3 is an object, and a is reference for that specific object. So this reference, if it is lost, then that memory is wasted, and such memory wasting is called the memory leakage. And this memory leakage is a big issue in many programming languages, because this need to be handled by the user in his program. But in Python, this memory leakage issue is very simple to the Python programmer, because it is handled in the background by the garbage collection module. So now the major point which we have to see is that how does garbage collection module get to know whether to free of the memory or keep memory intact. So there is something called reference counting, which is used by this garbage collection module. So like let us assume there is an object, and there are 3 references to that specific object in Python. So in this case, what happens is, whenever the references to that specific object goes to 0, that means there is no more the need of object in the program. Garbage collection module checks that, and it frees off the memory. So that's how the garbage collection module works in Python. So these are the basic things about memory. If we will discuss in detail about this garbage collection module and Python in the further videos. So we made a small deviation from data types and variables, and just wanted to give how memory is allocated, because we talked about the variables and their allocation. Thanks for watching.